Hey guys! Thanks for joining us. I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is Don't You Know? So, this is going to probably be a kind of shorter one because I have stuff I have to do and I've had overtime, so we don't have very much time, and I believe Jacob's got stuff to do and it's late where he's at.
Yep, and I'm an old man. I go to bed early. No, that's not true.
Yeah, sure. 2 o'clock in the morning is early. I guess it's early, like, if you were to be getting up. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Not too much announcement podcast-wise. So here is an interesting thing, Jacob.
What's so very interesting about it?
Georgia is not in the lead for most downloads.
Oh, darn.
However, neither is California.
It's been an overtaker.
New York has won for the month of October.
Wow.
Again.
Well,
they
cool.
came up from behind. They just all of a sudden were like, you know what? We're winning again this month. And boom. I checked. I think it was not last episode I talked about how New York was second. It was coming back up. And then a couple days ago I looked and it was like way ahead.
Wow.
And then California kind of caught up a little bit. Georgia fell way behind.
Well, it is what it is. Well, we thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks guys. I have quite a few things to talk about movie-wise. Personally, let's see, what have I done? I did a pop meetup, and I think that's like it. I didn't really sell that much pops either. I didn't make that much money, which was kind of sad.
Darn.
Yeah, oh well, they can't all be winners.
Mostly video games for me. I had a nice sushi date, so that was pretty nice.
Ooh.
Delicious.
Okay, movies. Let's get into movies, because that's what I'm excited to talk about real quick.
Okay, I haven't seen any. I've been playing video games, that's it.
That means I get to do all the talking! Yay!
Alright, let's have it.
I know that we've talked about this for the past, 3 episodes, but I want to kind of bring up Winona Earp.
Again? Okay.
But I have to bring up something else first. So I watched all, 6 seasons of this one show, which apparently is a BuzzFeed thing, but it has, episodes that are on YouTube in Prime Video. Okay. And it's called Unsolved. And I was watching the Unsolved Supernatural one. So it was this person who believes in the supernatural and then a person who doesn't really believe in the supernatural. So what they do is they go explore famous haunted places or places that have been known, have extreme ghost sightings and stuff like that.
Right.
And basically they go and he's trying to show his friends, hey, look, ghost does exist. And they went to Tombstone with,
where Wyatt Earp is.
Yeah.
And then Alabama? Or am I completely off?
You're completely wrong. Completely.
It's gotta be in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, not Alabama. It started with an A.
And, so they went there, and they have it all set up, and they were talking about the history behind it. And they were talking, I didn't know that apparently there was 2 other brothers. There was 3 Earp families.
Mm-hmm. And
come to find out that there was a guy, John Henry, Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm. I'm your Huckleberry.
Wait, what?
In the movie Tombstone, Doc Holliday, that's his catchphrase. He says, I'm your Huckleberry. Not a catchphrase, but he says it.
Oh, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know.
Oh, it's really good.
So, in Winona Earp, I've told you how it mentions Wyatt Earp. That's her, great-great-grandfather or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Doc Holliday is actually in the show. I thought they were just saying that was his best friend, or it was just a character they brought in. I didn't realize that Doc Holliday was actually a person.
Oh. Yeah, they're all, based on legend. Legendary people.
Yeah. I obviously have never seen Tombstone, which my dad would be very sad about, because it's one of his favorite movies.
It's really, really good. I recommend it highly.
Yeah, and so when I saw that episode in the Unsolved, I was like, oh, I have to tell Jacob this, because he probably was like, oh, Doc Holliday, I know all about Doc Holliday. Oh, I'm sad that you didn't let me know that Doc Holliday was in the show.
Oh yeah, no, he's a real dude. I didn't know he was in the show.
Yeah, he is in the show.
One time in 10th grade, I did a report in social studies, and we had to make a video biography about a person, and it had to be 1.5 minutes, and I just ripped off footage from Tombstone and put some facts on text over it, and we got a really good grade on that because that's such a good movie.
Nice.
We did a gunfight scene with Johnny Ringo.
Okay, well, I have 2 more movies to talk about.
All right, what's your second movie? Even though that first one was a TV show, not a movie, but
yeah. Okay, but I have 2 movies to talk about. Anyways, so I'm gonna save the best for last and go ahead and talk into. I saw Zombieland 2, Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay.
It was alright. It wasn't like the best thing. It definitely wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was as funny as the first one. And it kind of throws me for a loop because because as you get older, you go through more drastic changes in how you look, and then you kind of like plateau, and you don't change as drastic, like look wise.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching Double Tap, and basically everyone looks the same except for the little girl. Now the little girl is, of course, a teenager or adult or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, it almost looks like they got a completely different person to play her. And so that throws me for a loop because the rest of them all still look the same, except for her.
They have a pretty established look, right?
Yeah. And so that kind of threw me through a loop for the longest time because I was like, oh, you just don't fit in. You're the same person. You just like...
That's a tough thing to do with some, especially if they're supposed to like last longer than like real life time would. Like I think Game of Thrones ran into that, where the little girl was like growing up too quickly. It was only supposed to be like a few months, but it was actually taking like 8 months to record or whatever.
Yeah, they run into that issue a lot. The Stranger Things had that issue. They had to, I think for like half the season 1, they had to actually take the voice of one of the actors and make it higher because he went through puberty and his voice deepened.
And he's the audio engineers to save the day.
Yeah.
Just for continuity's sake.
Yeah. And I think they said in It Chapter 2 that some of the people, I think they said they had to use CGI on some of the kids because it's supposed to look like they've never aged because it's the same time period. But the kids had aged. They had like, and some of them went through puberty, so they like were a lot more drastic change.
Right. That gets expensive to do as well.
Yeah. I think one of them, they just didn't have them in as many scenes as a kid. Or they used previous ones, to try to not have to do that. Okay, so now I want to get into the one I'm most excited about to talk about.
Okay, the big shebang, the grand finale.
Yeah! Okay, it is Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. I bought the movie.
Nice.
I've already seen it twice since Friday. So it's only been, like 5 days? I've seen it twice.
When did this come out?
I got my DVD Friday, and I watched it Friday. And I watched it again today.
How is it? So, like, what's the premise? How do they do this?
Okay, so what happens is... trying to think of how I should say this without really spoiling anything, but I guess there's not really any way to. You have the Teen Titans Go. It starts off with them, and then comes in the original Titans, and they're doing kind of like a battle, like to see which team is the better team. Come to find out, the person who is like running the sports challenge thing or whatever you want to call it, come to find out it's Trigon, and he's got like a hidden scheme, and which I think is actually kind of a big reveal. Oh. But anyways, you don't know what his scheme is. You end up finding out that he has brought them both together for a reason. Anyways.
And it's to crush them all under his fist.
Ha ha ha.
It's interesting seeing the two art styles side by side.
Yeah, you realize it and you start to pick out, oh, wow. Okay, so, because you could tell that they're different, and you can tell, like, oh, they're different in sizes and stuff like that, and you're just like, why do they look so different, though, but yet still look the same? And you realize, oh, the older one had shading and had darker colors.
Yeah, which takes a lot more time.
Yeah, and they have kind of, like, different personalities, too, and so it was fun watching them interact with themselves and having the different personalities, and a lot of stuff being pointed out, the difference in the two shows, and it was just great. And they even bring back other Titans from other generations, like the comic book Titans, and the really, really old cartoon Titans, and then they also have the animation that from the timeline that I kind of like, where it has Starfire, Cyborg, and Robin, but he's Nightwing at that point. They're all from one team of Titans. Then you have the newer, which is the new Teen Titans, which has Raven and Beast Boy and a couple other people like Blue Beetle, the new Robin, which is Damian, and Starfire runs that team. And so they brought that Titans in as well. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked seeing the old Teen Titans. And I like how they bashed on the new Teen Titans.
Because the old one's a lot more serious.
Yeah. And you see that a lot. There's just so many things in there that they do that you're like, oh my god, that really doesn't make sense. And I've always thought it never made sense. And I'm glad someone else is looking and going, hey, that makes no sense. Why are you doing that? And they even brought back the waffle joke. Just one brief moment. They had little mention of it.
The waffle joke.
You know what waffle joke I'm talking about, right?
I don't know the waffle joke.
It was like a meme and everything. We're like, oh, it's Raven's meme thing, and she's got waffles, and it's, they were doing something, and she ends up bringing out the waffle and goes, oh, evildoers beware, we have waffles.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And so it became this huge meme. So every once in a while, the writers will throw it in there. Like with Teen Titans Go, the movie, Slade's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna have, dance battle? You gonna threaten me with your waffles or something like that? And Beast Boy and Cyborg had waffles out already. They're like, oh, and they dropped it and they're kind of hiding it.
That was exactly their plan.
So, yeah. And then in this one, they brought in the waffle joke again. So it was good.
What's your favorite kind of waffle?
I didn't realize there were different types of waffles.
What? Like blueberry or like banana?
Oh, okay, we're seeing.
Chocolate chip?
I think just the regular waffle, just the plain waffle with some syrup.
It's a home style?
Yeah, with nice. Some butter and syrup.
Blueberry for me. I will always take a blueberry something. Whatever. If there's a blueberry option, I'll go for it.
No, I do really like blueberry muffins, but normally I don't go for blueberry stuff.
Blueberry muffins are my favorite. I have some right on top of the fridge right now, ready to go. I just need eggs. Blueberry muffins.
Oh.
They're so good.
Yeah, blueberry muffins are really good. I really like getting the ones from Sam's Club and Costco, the big giant ones.
Oh yeah, nice. With the crumbles. I just make my own Betty Crocker.
Oh, do you put the crumble on it?
I don't. I need to learn how to do that.
That's the best part.
That is the best part. I need to up my game.
Yeah. You might have to take a blowtorch to it. You probably probably what it is they put sugar or something over the edge of it and you just blowtorch it.
I don't think they blowtorch it. I think they just bake it. You don't do a lot of cooking, do you? Yeah,
probably towards the end they put it on top and then bake it for the rest of the way.
Do you do a lot of cooking? I actually don't know that about you.
I don't think I do, but apparently I do.
What does that mean?
Well, I bake stuff and I cook a couple of things for potlucks and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And
fair enough.
My coworkers always seem to like it and are always like, "Oh, that's so good. I see you can cook, you can bake, blah 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 blah." And it's just kind of I didn't think it was hard to do. I think
I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like I don't cook often, so my techniques are kind of poor. But I can follow a recipe and I can make stuff come together and I can make stuff change color and not too much, you know.
Yeah, I can look at a recipe and be like, okay, I know this is an essential thing and I don't like this part, so I'm not gonna add it. Or I might be like, hey, I think this would taste better if I added this.
Yeah.
And so I can do that, but I don't have techniques like you said.
Yeah.
You can't tell me to do some fancy cooking term and I'm going to know what it is. I'm going to have to Google it.
Yeah, but at the same time, picking up those techniques is kind of fun if you're with somebody who knows how to cook.
My baby brother found out he actually really likes to cook. He's been thinking about
nice.
Maybe going to, if he continues to like it, to go to maybe cooking school after he graduates. Culinary school. Sorry. I guess I should actually call it what it is.
It's a good way to go.
Yeah, so I've been looking. I think I'm going to keep looking. I told him maybe me and him can take a cooking class because I always thought that would be interesting to do. But I've been looking to see if I can maybe find a cooking program for teenagers and something like that and give it to him as a Christmas present.
It's not a bad idea. Well, if he listens, he's just spoiled himself.
He don't listen to my podcast.
Speaking of people who have been on the podcast, my brother, Jude, the one who came in for the video game episode, he enjoys cooking a lot. He likes making dishes and sharing them.
It's always nice when you have a sibling that likes to cook, because then you get free food.
For sure.
Sometimes. Not for Frankie. He hasn't gotten to that point yet. But at least I know when me and him get a place, because before I was thinking I'm always going to have to do all the cooking. But now that he knows how to make a lot of stuff, and he's interested in learning, I know that if there's some time I don't want to cook or something like that, he'll probably cook. And it'd be great. We could take turns or something like that. It would be nice not to have to do all of the cooking.
Yeah. Well, what about our topic today?
Yeah, let's get right
as
into it.
As amusing as this conversation is.
So, our topic, in case you didn't read the description or got Jacob's little pun, it is amusement parks. This topic is provided to us by my friend and temporary co-worker, Bridget. She was on detail to our office, so she wasn't only there for like 45 days, and she left yesterday. Yesterday was her last day at the office, so today was the first day she wasn't there. But before she left, I was like, you pick a topic for me and Jacob, and this is the topic she gave us.
Nice. Very cool. Well, we thank you for the topic, and we hope to do it justice.
And she really, really loves our show, by the way. She thinks I'm funnier, though. No, I'm just kidding.
I see.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, sure.
But I say that.
I see. Very funny. You are very funny. You're hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Amusement parks. What's your experience? What are your amusement park experiences? How many have you been to? Which ones? Where?
All of them. I've been to every single
All of
one.
Every one.
Okay, let's first, are we going to include water parks inside the amusement parks as well?
Yeah, we can devote a section to water parks. I think it depends if they have roller coasters or not. Like SeaWorld is definitely an amusement park.
Okay, because I was thinking, with Six Flags, it's got like all amusement park has like that little water section as well.
Uh-huh.
So I've been to Six Flags over Georgia. I've also been to the water park when I was younger. That's at Six Flags over Georgia. I don't remember what it's called, Harvard or whatever. I've been to Magic Mountain, which is Six Flags here. I have been to Knott's Berry Farm. I have been to Disneyland. I have been to Universal Studios.
That's pretty good repertoire.
Yeah. And of course, I've been to lots and lots of fairs.
Nice.
I'm trying to think, there's one more amusement park I've been to, and I can't think of what it is right now.
I've done basically all of them in Florida. Disney, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Universal. I've been to all of the Disneys. Well, when I say all the Disneys, I mean the parks inside Disney World. I have not been to Disneyland or any of the other satellite locations. Just the one in Florida. I've been to the Six Flags in LA, but not the Six Flags in Georgia.
It's called Magic Mountain here.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I've been to Magic Mountain there. And I've designed countless theme parks and amusement parks in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, 2, and 3.
I had that game on my phone.
I'm sure it's quite the experience on the phone.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. I used to have it on my computer, but then it, kicked the bucket.
Oh, such a good franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, I think a good point to start off, because when Bridget gave this suggestion, she actually started to talk about one of the topics that I think is a really good topic for us to discuss. And we had very different opinions on it. So let's see what your opinion is. How do you feel about Flash Passes? Paying extra so that you don't have to wait in line. Do you think it should be, done away? Do you think it's fair? How do you feel about it?
I think that it's a money-making tool kind of thing. I don't really like it, but I do like using them. So that's when we're on vacation and we're like, we got to do it, and you know that you're going to go get lunch or something. It can be worth it if you got a little extra. Because, if you got to think about your smiles per dollar, that definitely is a pretty good value rather than sitting in that thing. But man, it really hurts to be waiting the whole time and seeing people with the fast passes just zipping past you. I don't know. I think it has to be done. It has to be done right. I don't know if I think that's like a fast pass and you always get to skip. That sounds like it's too much. Or a fast pass for the thing and you have to bounce back and forth. Not really sure. I think they're okay. I think they're just kind of a normality right now. I gotta accept it.
I think they're completely fair. I think that there's nothing wrong with them. And here are my reasonings why. One, pretty much all of them have it where they just you don't just automatically get to go onto the ride. You usually have a wait time still. You're just not waiting in the giant line as everyone else. Second thing is that normally you cannot put more than one ride on it. So it's not like you're putting all of the rides and then just walking up to the rides. You're still kind of waiting your own turn. You're just not doing it in a line. And you're not doing it as long. And I think that's fair because it's no different than if you pay for VIP tickets or whatever for a Comic-Con or whatever. It's more expensive. You're paying that money so that you don't have to wait in the line. And if you can't afford it, if you choose to, you still are getting on the ride. You'll get on the ride eventually. And then, Bridget was saying, well, you're spending all this money and you're spending all this, and then you turn around and spending all this money for food and blah, 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 blah. And I see that point. I see, like, you're already spending a lot of money. Like, you don't want to spend even more money just to get onto rides faster. But it's like, with me and my family, what we used to do is, like, we'd bring lunch or whatever. So we weren't buying food there. So we did have that extra money to get fast passes and stuff like that. Or we would go on days that it wasn't as crowded. Like in Georgia, we used to go on Sunday mornings, and it wasn't crowded Sunday morning because it's, part of the Bible Belt, so everyone was in church. I think they're fair. You're just paying for it, and they're not going on the ride right away. They're still having a wait time themselves. And they still can't just, like, put as many rides on that flash pass as they want. They still have to do one at a time. So they go and get your thing signed or get your time or whatever, and then do whatever and come back for your time. And then you could do the next ride and get the time for that. And so that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. What kinds of rides do you normally hit? Do you hit all of them, or do you just go straight to the scariest ones? Or do you work your way up, or do you not even touch the scary ones?
That's actually kind of one of the things I did put in my notes, was talking about preference in ride. And so my favorite rides, of course, are the ones that drop you, basically, kind of thing. So, like, the ones that take you to the top and drop you. Or the roller coasters that have, like, really, really big drops. Or stuff like that. Anything that makes you lose your stomach. I love that feeling. I don't care too much for the corkscrews.
Just the crazy ones.
Yeah, I don't care too much for the loops and the corkscrews and all that stuff. Honestly, some of those rides, the way that they bang your head around, kind of, and I don't like that. So I mainly prefer the ones that have lots of drops. I will ride all those rides. I will ride the more mild roller coasters.
I really like the loops and corkscrews. They're my favorite.
Well, everyone has their favorites, but I'm not too picky about rides. I'll get on whatever rides. I at least want to get onto my ride where it takes you to the top and then drops you. As long as I get on that ride, I'm okay. That's like a must for me.
That's like not watching a movie, just watching the endings of it, Like just the spoilers. I don't know, I like a little bit of all of it. Ease me in. And, yeah.
So, this actually kind of brings a good point, which is, everyone has different rides that they like. And so, how do we deal with difference in preference in rides when you're in a big group?
Well, you can sit some out, but that's always a bummer. Because you definitely feel like you'll be waiting around. And you're never going to be able to time that perfectly with, I just get out of my one ride when you get out of yours. It's not going to work.
So what do you do? Like, normally when I go with, like, my aunt and uncle or whatever, we all go to Knott's. My uncle, a lot of times, he likes to go and stuff like that, but he doesn't actually like to ride the rides. So he'll wait with all the stuff. And I guess that's not an issue. When I go to Knott's and they're not there, Allison does not like the drop rides. I do. So last time we went with my cousin, Allison, and we went with my brother, Nick. And me and Nick went on the drop one, and she waited for us to finish with that. Though those weren't really long wait times either, though. We were probably maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And for a 15-minute wait, that's not that big of a deal. You just wait around.
So what do you do, though, with longer wait times or whatever? Is it better to just split up and people with similar preference in rides go one way? Or
in a big group, I think yes, definitely. But in a smaller group, like if it's just two people, you can't really split up like that. You might have to just not go on all the rides you want to, or maybe just toughen up and go on a spookier ride than you're expecting, or you just tough it out and wait, Because if you really like the person, you can still wait in line with them and then just step out right before the end.
That's true.
And wait for them at the end. So you can still talk and stuff. That still seems like a bummer.
Yeah. So how about food? Because that's a really big thing.
I say eat right before the park, because it's going to cost a lot in there. So I would say...
Yeah, but I'm saying not worry about the money. What's the food you're going to?
Usually I want a nice restaurant. I want to be able to sit down from standing and walking the whole time. Sit down, have a nice meal.
That's not like amusement park food. We're talking like turkey legs, churros, stuff that you're taking with you. Where are you going that you're going to eat in line?
Usually a turkey leg. I'm a sucker for a turkey leg.
I'm a sucker for churros. Especially Disneyland churros. They're like super, super long. Oh, man. They're the best.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Some
type of dessert. I think mine's usually dessert. That's my go-to. Ice cream, a Slurpee, something,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes pretzels. Dessert. That's mine. Okay, here's a don't you know that I think should be. Don't you know there should be an adult-only park? Not like adult... okay, wow. Here's the thing. So, I think there should be, like, because, I'm sorry, sometimes kids, when you're waiting in line, you just want to be like, where is your mom and dad? Because you're annoying the heck out of me. Like, and I had to stand next to you for like 30 minutes to get onto this ride, and you're driving me up the wall. And it looks like it's just you and your siblings. Like, where is your parent at?
Yeah, why are you here being loud and having fun?
Don't you do any manners? And they're trying to, and then if they're like a group of kids, and they're not like siblings or whatever, they're trying to kind of do that thing where they're trying to be funny or whatever and try to be kind of like
dorky.
But in reality, they're being like super like obnoxious and like ill-mannered, especially for these teenagers who are running the rides who don't want to have to deal with unruly kids. Like, they don't get paid enough for that. So I feel like when I say adults only park, I don't mean like rated R park. I'm talking about just like no kids.
Right.
No kids allowed at this amusement park.
Right.
And I was trying to Google to see if there were any parks like that. And don't Google adults only amusement park.
Yeah, that sounds hard. Like, there's no way to do that. 18 only. Like, either. That's all. Yeah.
No, I think I did see one that was like no. It's actually called like no kids amusement park or something like that.
That might be your best way to phrase it.
Yeah, and I think there is some still kind of rated R stuff in it, but I think it's mainly just like a regular amusement park with just no kids.
Yeah.
Not anywhere near me, unfortunately. But actually, I don't even think it's in the country. It might not be. I don't remember where it was at. So, if someone wants to make that here in California near Los Angeles, that would be awesome. Because I love amusement parks, but sometimes it's
too much.
It's too much. Especially with like families who have like 5 kids. And you're just like, oh my god. Oh my god. Because it's like, that's like one thing like a lot of big families tend to do is like they go to amusement parks. And I'm just like, how are you able to afford all these tickets?
Fortune as well.
I know. They don't always go do this stuff though. I mean, like my dad took us to amusement parks before too. He always would like take us. We just didn't do it like very, very often. But like when he was with Cincy. So he had my half brother and his 2 sisters. So it was like 5, 6 of us total or something like that.
Yeah.
We always go like movies and blah blah blah. And now that I'm older, I'm realizing I feel so sorry for those people that had to deal with this. But they're like 6 kids, all loud and stuff like that.
Yikes! That's funny.
They always come in big groups with kids. I mean, they take their friends, blah blah blah, and they're just so loud. And sometimes I just want to go and ride rides and not have to hear kids crying. Oh, I don't want to go on this ride. Or hear kids crying. I want to be able to, but I'm too short.
Well, you still cry for that, don't you?
Ha ha ha. I am barely tall enough to ride this ride.
You turn around at the little kid behind you and go, ha!
Ha! Wait until you turn 21. That's how old I had to be. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
Let's see. What else about amusement parks? We talked about food. How about carny games?
Carny games, I don't like them. I don't like anything about them, really. I'd rather ride rides.
Have you won any of them, though? Or have you never, like, you just don't ever play them? You've never played it. You never won them.
I've played them, but I don't know. I just don't really. I'd rather just spend my time on rides. And especially if the carny rides cost money, which they usually do on top of stuff, I'm not going to do it.
I think if you're going to do carny rides, you have to do them last. Not rides, the games, carny games. You have to do it last. I think that's a don't you know. Don't you know, do it last. Because, see, I was doing it. It was me and my cousin, Allison, and then my little cousin, her daughter, Gabby. And I did the throw the ball at the tin can thing.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was going to be anything, didn't win. And like, very first one, I hit it. And then the second one, the first one I hit it and knocked all of them off. And we're like, ooh. And then I got like, you get that second throw and I hit all but one off on the second one. So I ended up getting this big giant stuffed animal. And now you gotta carry this thing around. And I didn't think I was gonna win at all.
Oh.
So
You did better than you expected.
Yeah, so I wasn't planning on carrying. If anything, I figured it would be like a little tiny, like, keychain kind of toy that they give you when they feel sorry for you. Kind of think like, oh, hey, you tried, here you go. So we're still trying to go on these big, and we have to carry around this big giant stuffed animal now.
I mean, you could just go and put it back in the car.
Oh, yeah. No, you don't ever think about that. You don't ever think about going to the car until you're leaving. Don't you know, you don't think about going to the car until you're leaving. And then you realize, oh, I could have done this. Yeah, my brother likes to do any of the basketball ones. Anything with the basketball he likes to do.
Yeah, he would.
Nick. Yeah, and
likes the old
last time we went, he won a basketball. And of course, he had a choice to choose between one that was already inflated and one that was deflated. Instead of picking the one that was deflated, which was easier to carry around, he picked the one that was inflated.
Well, yeah, the one that's deflated came inflated and is popped. Duh.
No. The reason why he got it inflated was because he was thinking that if he got it deflated, he would never inflate it. So he wanted it already inflated. Well, now he's carrying around this basketball, and it's a hassle. So he ends up giving it away to a little kid anyways, which is a nice, thing.
It around and drove everybody crazy.
Yeah, so save Carney games for last. So that way, if you do win prizes, you're not trying to manage it while going on rides.
Right. Yeah, that's a good tip.
Don't you know that if you have a good investment, especially if you have a group of kind of like people, is to usually get like the water bottles that they have.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Like free refills for the day, or even if you have season passes,
or whatever
get the
drinks
season one.
Speaking of drinks, man, the frozen lemonades that they always have around in these places are usually pretty good as well.
So good. Yeah, you want to get, especially if you have more than one person, you want to get at least one of those. I say water bottles, but it's actually like soda or whatever you could put into it. It's just like, that's what you call the container that you put liquid in, a water bottle.
Right.
What else do you call it?
Your canteen.
Canteen, okay. Let's go with canteen, I guess.
No, we don't have to. I'm just joking.
Okay. It's really good because if you pay for it for the day, then, especially when it's hot, if your soda gets hot, if your soda gets hot, then you could just dump it and get more, versus if you get only the one soda, then you're like babying it. You're like, no, there's still a little bit left. Oh, it's so hot.
Right, yeah.
It feels like it's boiling.
You just want to drink a bunch of it.
I paid it, though. I'll drink every last drop of this flat soda. So, and then you're fighting over who gets the last drop of this soda. Nah, just go ahead and get the day. All free refills all day.
Yeah, especially if you're there all day, for sure.
Yeah, sometimes there's one for like 99-cent refills. It's so much better just to do that. Oh, okay, so what are you thinking wise with pictures from roller coaster rides and stuff like that?
It depends. I do like the one that we got. That one was pretty good, but I don't want to get all of them, and I don't really like... I'm not a big pictures guy. I'll take like one picture that defines the night or the day, and just whatever, and then that's good for me. But yeah, I don't get them every time. And if you're gonna get them, get like one and get it at the end, like you said.
Yeah.
Or if it's really good. If you get a really good one, then you gotta go for it.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, if I'm getting like a season pass or something like that, then a lot of times they also have like season photos too, so you can get photos for the whole season.
Oh yeah.
As many as you want. And Knott's Berry Farm did that, and I did have that for Knott's Berry Farm. We also had it for Six Flags when we had season passes for Six Flags. So I think if you're gonna get a season pass, then definitely look into getting photos for the whole season, because you're gonna want them, especially if you're going very often. And then also, I think they also have photo passes for the day too sometimes, and I think that's also a good investment for like, if it's a special like occasion kind of event that you're going to the park, like with you came here, and I think I did get the day pass, and it was a big thing. It was a vacation. It was you coming out to visit. Like, it wasn't going to happen all the time. Now, the other day we went to, not the other day, but when I went to Knott's Berry Farm with my brother and my cousin, we didn't get the day photo pass. We didn't get any of our photos taken. We didn't keep any of our photos that were taken, because it's right there. We can go at any point. There wasn't anything special about us going. Nick just had an extra ticket. I went. My cousin has season passes, so we went. But when it's like a special reason why you're going, or if you have season passes, I think it is a good investment.
Right. I think souvenirs are kind of the same thing too. I mean, the pictures are a souvenir basically, but of course, don't you know, a souvenir stand is always going to be right at the end of the ride. Try and get you. Do
you like to go? Okay, let's end with this. Does that sound good with you? One discussion and then ending?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. How do you feel, or do you like to, like, if you've gone to like the events that they have outside of the rides, like the shows and stuff like that? Do you like? Well, for me, I go for the rides. I may watch a show or something like that, but mainly I'm going for the rides. I'm not really paying that close attention to some of the shows or whatever is going on.
I'm usually like that. However, there are some times when the shows like really, I don't want to say steal the show, when they really take the cake from the adventure, from the visit, you know? Like, I know like the Indiana Jones show at Disney is really, really good. And it's worth seeing like once, you know? The same thing with the, they had this one like stunt car show, and those are always pretty cool, the stunt shows. Because you can't really see those at other places. It's all like, it's there or never.
Like, I don't even pay attention to it so much that I don't even look to see what time the shows are at.
Usually they have them posted on the big walls there.
Yeah, I know. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm focused on the rides and going to as many of the rides as I can. I'm not paying attention what the show times are and what time it is, really.
Right. Yeah, we're just trying to rush and get as many in as we can.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, any final thoughts about amusement parks? We can wrap this up.
Use sunscreen. Don't forget about that. Stay hydrated.
Oh, yeah.
That's important.
I always forget about that.
And be bold. Don't chicken out of that ride, because if you go on it, you're not going to get scared to death. And if you don't go on it, you're going to go, man, I wish I had gone on that ride, you know?
Yeah. I have actually, I just thought of kind of like a good discussion question I wanted to end with, actually. How do we feel about lockers? Like, do we carry our stuff with us, or do we get a locker and put it in there?
Usually I carry my stuff with me. I like sometimes when they give you the day pass for the lockers too, because the lockers are really nice, especially as you start to accumulate things.
Uh-huh.
And it's also fun for it's good for sometimes you do pick stuff up and you want to put stuff in a locker. I think they're good to have, and they're usually really cheap too. They're like $1.
Yeah. I don't like the rides that make you put stuff in lockers. Like, they won't let you put it on the side.
Oh, yeah.
I hate those rides.
It's much nicer when they just have the little baskets. But then you got to use the honor system too, and it's like, all right, I hope I don't lose you don't want to put your $600 camera in that little bucket, in a little bucket. I'd rather have the locker ones for those.
I would like to use the lockers. I would prefer to use the lockers, but realistically, no. Because then you're having to go in there, because I need my phone with me. I need my wallet, obviously.
Yeah.
And I can't be going in and out of the locker every time I go on a ride.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it's not the safest to have your wallet or your phone or whatever on some of the rides, especially if there's turning upside down. So it's just So I always carry a bag.
Or get those pants. Get pants with zippers on them too.
Oh yeah, that's the best thing is the zipper ones. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Girls don't tend to have pockets with zippers.
Fanny pack.
Not very often. Fanny pack. Okay.
Or excuse me, a bum bag if you live in other states, other countries.
See, I don't have a problem with fanny packs, but I always feel very dorky when I have it on.
Well, you're dorky all the time, so you might as well just wear one. They're very functional.
They are, and I see no problem with them. I just personally, when I wear it, I feel dorky. I don't know.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
I know it is. I mean, we all have things where we think it's perfectly fine, but as soon as we do it, we feel like, no, it's not right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be like, oh, boy, those glasses, those hats are all cool. And then you put it on, you're like, no. It doesn't look right on me. It doesn't feel right on me. So I think mine is because I do, like you said, I have a dorky personality. I have a nerdy, a geeky personality. So then you add something that kind of can be associated with that, and it makes you feel like you're even worse. I think that's what it is. Because fanny packs can be, especially way in the past, they were associated with geeks and nerds and stuff like that. So for me, when I put it on, I feel like I'm just
it's a utility belt.
Yeah.
You're like, nah,
and
I don't
that's
think
kind of I mean, they're not as bad now, and they don't have as bad of a connotation, but I don't think so. They're just not. I just feel really dorky, I just can't do it.
That's funny.
I have one for when I run, and I already it's like a thinner one, and you could put your phone in it, but I don't really put my phone in it because it makes it more obvious. I mainly use it for my keys or something like that, because then I can have it underneath my shirt, but it's flat against my stomach, so you can't really see it. But if I put my phone in it, now I have this little bulge, and it's kind of obvious I'm wearing a fanny pack, or I have a weird bulge underneath my shirt. So
you're silly.
Anyways, okay guys, so thanks for listening to us, unless Jacob has anything else he wants to add.
No, I got nothing else. I'm not very amusing today.
Okay, so please follow us.
I do actually have one. Speaking of, it's an amusement park. Don't you know, you gotta mark where you park so that you remember it. Because it's always fun. You get out and it's it feels like you've been there for 3 days or whatever by the time you get out. And then it's dark and the sun's on the whole other side of the world. And you're like, where did I leave my car?
You're thinking about when we left Magic Mountain, aren't you?
And everyone's walking around beeping their little buttons and everything. No, you always got to mark where it is. You can even use your GPS to mark a little waypoint. That's a good way to do it. Or just note. They always have the little letters. Just make some, like, if you're in your parking lot AAP, be like, yeah, this is automatic parking for us. Something like that.
My phone automatically does that.
Oh, nice.
It automatically marks where my car is. So what it does is it recognizes when my phone is hooked up to Bluetooth or to USB to my car.
Yeah.
And so as soon as it's disconnected from the Bluetooth or disconnected from the USB, it marks it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because I was curious about it one day, because I noticed, I would pull up the maps, and I would notice that my car was always parked. It was marked on it. It's like, your car's parked here. And I'm like, how do you know where my car is parked? Because it was always right. I was like, how do you know this?
Spooky.
And so I Googled it. I was like, how does Maps know where your car is parked? And it's like, oh, it recognizes when you're connected to Bluetooth and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as it disconnects, it marks it and says that's where your car is at. And I was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Very handy feature.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, then.
Well, that's all I got. Thank you all for listening. It's been fun.
Yeah. So follow us on Twitter or on YouTube. We have some interesting videos. All of our specials from last month. And a couple of clips from Rocky Does a Game featuring Jacob and I. And we will probably do a couple more stuff too coming up for that. And then you can also send us a tweet at don'tyouknowpod, or you can send us an email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com. And then you can also, it's a follow on
Subscribe
Podbean as well, right?
YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. That's what it is. I was like,
I don't know.
Follow is right. There's another word that I'm missing. But yeah, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter or on Podbean or wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that we've gotten pretty much the majority of them. And yeah, give us some feedback. Send us some topics that you wish for us to talk about. And with that, until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.